Hello, there's no one on the on the live as yet, so I'm just waiting on Mr. Butron as well as viewers. So hopefully just a few minutes again and we'll be able to start. Hi, good evening. I am still waiting on Mr. Butron and it's only 7 o'clock, so I hope that he'll be on in a few minutes. How is everyone doing this evening? Thanks for joining. Hope you all are having a wonderful Thursday evening. I am at my brother's. My brother lives in Florida, so I am here. I've been here since last weekend. I attended my niece's graduation in Maryland, and then we came down to Florida. So this weekend is going to be Orlando Carnival, and I'm here just spending time, killing time until I get to Orlando this weekend. I didn't. I live in Seattle, so I didn't want to make the trek 6 hours back from Maryland to Seattle. So I decided to come just like 2 hours away, spend time with my nieces here in Florida, and then head to the festivities this weekend. What's everyone doing this weekend? Anything exciting? Let's see if I got any. I'm checking to see if I got any messages. Sorry about that. I had nothing yet, so hopefully Mr. Bertrand joins soon without any issues. Hi, good evening. Thanks for joining in. Give me 1 second. I'm just checking to see if I get any messages. Right now I'm on Do Not Disturb. So let me check. Take it off for a minute. Nice. Which music? The music from the Pandering Week? Or the music for Borrow Day, you mean? Hi, Allison. Oh, yes. Pan is always lovely. There was an event this weekend in Arima. So I don't know if you remember, I posted about what that was that maybe 3 weeks ago. There was an event called Pan for the People. Apparently, it's a series in Arima that the Eastern Division of Pan Trindigo is having. So there was another event with maybe 6 bands, I believe. I saw Pan Unity; they covered it, and it was really good. So you should probably check out Pan Unity, their page or their YouTube account for those performances as well. That's pretty cool. Lots of things happening in Pan. I see there's a Pan is Beautiful competition coming up in July. So it's really a tricky date because it's on the 27th, and I'm covering Grenada Carnival, which falls around the same time as well. So I'm not sure if I'll be able to cover it. That Pan is beautiful event, but it's something that I am looking forward to. And hopefully I could get it done. But there's also something on the day in Grenada that I want to cover as well. So I have to toss a coin and figure out which one I will really want more, so but yeah, for those of you who are here, thanks for joining. I am currently waiting on Mr. Bertrand. I hope he makes it this evening. We're just gonna chat a bit about Point Fortin, Point Borrowdale. Mr. Bertrand, he was a former mayor of Point Fortin, and it is under him that, Borrowdale was born. So I just want to get, um, some info from him, like what was his vision behind it and so forth. So hopefully he's able to join soon. Hopefully he's not having technical difficulties. So yeah, so I'm just waiting. As I said earlier, I don't know who was on the live earlier, but right now I am in Florida. I'm at my brother's home, and I am just killing time here between my trip to Maryland for my niece's graduation to head to Orlando Carnival this weekend. So there are two carnivals going on this weekend. Well, two big carnivals, Atlanta Carnival and Orlando Carnival. So I am covering Orlando Carnival this weekend. I am looking forward to it. It will be my first time for Orlando Carnival. And yeah, I don't know what to expect, but hopefully it's all good. Is anything going on? Anything exciting happening in your neck of the woods? My dad was raised in Barbados, and we had a small drum. We used it to play all the time. Just played around with it. Oh, that's pretty cool. So my niece and they have this really tiny drum. It's maybe this big. I don't know where they got it, but it's tuned for the notes because I could play something on it. The notes are correct, but they don't have any sticks. But I thought it was pretty cool, so I feel I may get one for myself as well. Um, but yeah, they seem interested in learning to play, so I don't know if like my brother will buy a pan for them and get them in classes or anything, but we'll see. They seem pretty interested in the steel pan. But it's cool that you were introduced to that so young, so. Do you play, Allison? Okay, let me see if I get any messages. 1 second. Hmm. Oh, wish you could too. Okay, let me check to see what's up. 1 second. Give me 1 minute. Second. Okay, I'm checking to see if someone could give him a call. Was this carnival different from the one before Easter? Seems like this one has been going on for weeks. Which one is that? Are you talking about Borody? So we have, with respect to Trinidad, we have a carnival in Trinidad, and Tobago recently started its carnival later in the year in October. Borody, it's like a mini carnival. It has similar events within that. I guess it's a month of events that they have carded, a few weeks to a month. Um, so Borody ended the first weekend in May. That was May 4th, May 5th, May 6th. That was the last event I went to on May 6th. And but I had been posting after Borody because I had quite a bit of footage. So I don't know if I confused you with when I posted, but Borody weekend was May 4th. And there were a few weeks of events. I think there was a month, but do not quote me on that. They ramped up events like the week before Borody weekend, which was the end of April to the beginning of May. So in Trinidad, we had Carnival back in February, and that I would say parties usually start the end of the year, like after Christmas, maybe as soon as Boxing Day. The first event that I went to for Carnival was on January 1st, which was Soca and Mocha, and I went all the way up until the week after Carnival. So yeah, so depending on when I would say Ash Wednesday or Easter falls, your season could be short or long because we have Carnival Tuesday on the Tuesday right before Ash Wednesday, or I would like to say 41 days before Easter Sunday, or 40 days before Easter Sunday, depending on how you count it. So yeah, so after that, I covered Jamaica Carnival. So I do have like cover quite a bit of have covered quite a bit of events since the season since a year. So Jamaica Carnival was in April, the beginning of April, and that's a short period. That just lasts a week from Easter weekend up until I would say Easter Sunday, up until the week after Easter. And there's been a few carnivals in between that I haven't gone to, but the next one will be on um, this weekend. And I think there may have been like a few events, possibly last weekend into this week. But this weekend is where you'll have like the majority of events for the carnival for Orlando Carnival, as well as Atlanta Carnival, because Atlanta Carnival is having their thing as well. I haven't seen Panorama on the events, on the schedule of events for Orlando. I don't think there's any. But I know that Bungie and Faye, they have a show called Anthropology, and it's supposed to include like the theme is drums and dragons. So I think it's supposed to include steel pan, but I'm not sure. But I hope to cover some of it because there are two events on that night that I'm covering. So I'm not sure how much of Anthropology I'll get and how much of there's another fete called Culture Fete, which is what I'll be covering as well. I'm not sure how much of it I'll get as well. So depending on when I'm there, I may get some pan. I'm not sure. There's also Juve in Orlando, as well as I think there's a parade of bands on Sunday, if I remember correctly. So yeah, so there's quite a bit of things happening this weekend, and I did have to make a choice between Orlando and Atlanta. I chose Orlando because I have not had any coverage of Marshall for this year. He did not perform in Trinidad. Um, he only performed like for the Calypso Fiesta because he had a Calypso. He was contending for Calypso Monarch. So that's all I got to cover from him. Other than that, no other parties, and I miss him in Jamaica. So I really wanted to get coverage of him for my channel, and that's why I chose Orlando. So yeah, and thank you so much for the compliment, Alison. I really try my best. Sometimes it catches up with me though because it could get pretty tiring, and editing takes like quite a bit of time. So, but I appreciate it. So I am trying to see if my friend could give him a call. That is Mr. Bertrand. I am not getting on to him. So I'll give him about maybe 5 minutes again. And if he doesn't join the live, I would probably have to reschedule. But anything else on your minds? And thank you so much for joining. I am supposed to be speaking with Mr. Bertrand, but I don't know. He may be busy. He may be busy. So hopefully I can get on to him within the next few minutes. If not, I'll end the live. I'm not sure if there's any technical difficulties or anything. So yeah. So where is everyone joining from? I'm in Orlando. I live in Seattle. I'm in Trinidad a lot. Where are you all from? No one shy group this evening. Ah, nice. I used to live in New York. I lived in Brooklyn and Long Island for a bit. I think I spent like 15 years in New York. So yeah. New York's supposed to have a lot of events this weekend as well. It's Memorial Weekend. So there are a lot of Caribbean events this weekend. No. I politely decline. I have no idea who you are. Sorry. Ah, nice. Yeah, I used to live Bayshore, Long Island, Suffolk County. Do you take part in the Labor Day celebrations? I used to go to no. I went to Labor Day last Labor Day. Although I lived in New York for 15 years, I think I went to Labor Day twice. And, oh, Islip. Okay, yeah, that's pretty close. Yeah, I went to Labor Day twice, although I lived in Brooklyn for quite a bit. And the first time I went, there were gunshots, and I ran home. So at that time, the Juve started at Empire Boulevard, and I lived on New York Avenue, and I ran all the way from there to New York Avenue, and I didn't come back out. I tried it once again, a Juve. It was good, and that was a lot of years after, maybe 10 years after I tried it, and then I moved out of New York, and I went back last September, and it was good. I enjoyed the panorama, and I enjoyed the Eastern Park. It's a parade of bands, but they didn't really have any bands last year because of COVID. So it wasn't as bad as it used to be, but I guess maybe last year was a better year because there were more people than masqueraders, from what I observed. But I do plan on doing something a bit different this year because the Grenadian community has a really interesting take on Labor Day. They have their own Sokomonach competition in Brooklyn. So I really want to cover that this year, as well as the Juve. I was really tired and I slept through Juve last year. But yeah, I have a different plan for Labor Day this year. I think it will be more of a Green Eden spin because to me they have like a lot more culture in it than a lot of the other communities. Let me see if my friend was able to get on to me. Let's see, from that, people get crazy. Yeah, people get crazy. Um, I've heard of course, the shootings, the murders, and everything. So it could be dangerous. I try to. I think they moved the time of Juve because of that, right? I don't live in Trinidad anymore. I grew up in Trinidad. I live in Seattle, but because since I started my channel, I spend a lot more time in the islands than I used to. One, because of COVID, I was able to travel and work at the same time. Um, but this year is the first year. So I quit my job at the end of last year, and I just wanted to see how um, spend more time on my channel this time. And I was a little bit burnt out from work as well. So I just wanted to spend some time on my channel and doing some other projects. And yeah, because even with traveling and working, it was really, really extremely exhausting, even though, I had a good time. But, you know, um, so yeah, there are some things that I want to do for my channel. And I would not have had the time to do it otherwise. So yeah, so I'm just giving this a year, taking this year off just to put things in place. And at the end of the year, I'll decide whether or not I'll go back into full time work or do something part time. I don't know. I'll make up my mind at the end of this year where I'll go from here. But yeah, so to answer your question, no, I don't live in Ireland. I live in Seattle. But my friends, they're always like, "Oh, did you go on vacation?" Because they make jokes because I've since COVID, I've been in Trinidad a lot more than I've been before. Seattle is gorgeous. Seattle is very gorgeous. I think my only gripe about Seattle is that it's way too far. So it takes me minimum 13 hours from Trinidad, including, the connecting flights and everything. Minimum 13 hours. And it's long. So yeah, so when I come back, I sleep for a few days. I really need to just recover. But it's gorgeous. So yeah. I don't know. I'm not hearing from Mr. Bertrand, so I'm not sure if I doubt he'd make it this afternoon. So I'd have to reschedule. You'll get to know a little bit more about me. Any other questions to me? Okay, so it's about 23 minutes, so I'm gonna end the live now. Do join me this weekend. As I said, this weekend I'll be covering Orlando Carnival. Tomorrow I'll be stopping in Disney a bit just to have some fun with my nieces, and then head to Carnival from Saturday. I'll be covering Saturday and Sunday for Orlando Carnival. So yeah. So if there's nothing else, I'm gonna bid you farewell until this weekend. Hopefully I can reschedule with Mr. Bertrand. And thanks so much again for joining. I will speak to you all sometime. See you soon. Thank you. Have a good night. Bye.